Hello, I'm the Media Wiz, because one art form wasn't enough. Let's talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! Yes, Yu-Gi-Oh! One of the many franchises I'm just now getting around to doing a proper video on. What started as a manga, which then led to an anime, very similar to other such Japanese phenomena like Pokemon and Digimon, following a young boy, a trading card game, and the spirit of an Egyptian pharaoh being what hold on to the fate of the world. And just like Pokemon and Digimon, it took the youth of the late 90s and 2000s by storm. To this day, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is still a big deal, with the latest iteration of the series coming out in 2022 with Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush. Much like my connection with Pokemon, I used to be really into the anime and collected some of the cards, but after a while, I admit, I fell off the wagon. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but I'm pretty sure it was around the time Yu-Gi-Oh! GX came around, and it was mostly just due to lack of interest, really. But that's besides the point. Along with the general merchandising, from t-shirts to action figures to fast food kids meals, Yu-Gi-Oh! Has gotten virtually anything and everything you'd expect from a massive franchise. Theatrical films, video games, spin-off series, novelization, an actual card game, live tournaments, and what we're looking at today, soundtracks. Yes, yet another anime show soundtrack. First we talked about Totally Pokemon, then Sailor Moon and the Scouts' Luna Rock, and now we're looking at one of the two English soundtracks made for Yu-Gi-Oh! The second one was made for the theatrical movie, and the first one is what we're reviewing today, Music To Duel By. Released in 2001 to tie in with the first Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, put out by, oh god, everyone's favorite dubbing company, 4Kids. Yes, the same 4Kids that thought this was a good idea. Let's just hope that none of the songs off of this album are going to be to that quality. This is Yu-Gi-Oh! Music To Duel By. We begin with the theme song, which clocks in around 3 minutes and 30 seconds this time around. Mostly because the build-up at the beginning is a little longer than the televised version. Thematically, it does make the song seem a lot grander scale for the album. There's not a whole lot lyrically outside of repeating your move and saying the name of the show over and over, and obviously this part right here.
It's time to duel!
Yeah, not much to really add here. It's a good extended version of the theme song. It's catchy, the Egyptian build-up at the beginning adds atmosphere, it gets all the kids and young adults into the franchise hyped. Pretty good start. Now we move on to the second track, Time to Duel, with the 2 being spelled with a number 2, of course.
More hit.
I hope you're ready for a new metal sounding song here because, well, it was 1999 going into 2000, so new metal was kind of the new hot genre for the youth, as it were. From the anime actor and composer Russell Velasquez and musician DJ White Shadow, the same guy who helped Lady Gaga with some of her albums, this song works as a secondary intro to the album, giving the listener a feel for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card dueling. It's awesome and action-packed and edgy AF, bro!
Stalemates, and you don't even know that I am notorious for finding weakness in anyone too confident. I see the stars of your descent.
Huh. I don't know what it is about that verse, but the thing that sticks out to me the most is them using the word stalemate. I mean, they didn't use it incorrectly, and it's a good word to use, but I don't know. Never would have thought that I would be listening to a Yu-Gi-Oh! Soundtrack and hear a word like stalemate get thrown out.
While you were pondering the ozone, I'm trying to get into the end zone. You won't be anything without the Egyptian lips a quivering. The time has come.
Wow. That's a rhyme. While you were pondering the ozone, I tried to get it in the end zone. Wow. Jokes aside, this is a fine enough song to get kids and fans hyped for what's to come. The beat is definitely a banger, that's for sure. The lyrics really lean into the super serial world of card game dueling, man. Next up we have the song I'm Back, which was actually featured in the show, in the dubbed version of episode 9 to be exact. This song is actually based on the events of Everything's Relative, A Duel with a Ghoul, and Give Up the Ghost, the 8th, 9th, and 10th episode of the series. It follows Kaiba and his personal growth, telling us how he's back and he's ready to show up everyone who dare gets in his way.
Thought you were so tough, you had it all under control. Now enough is enough, gonna take back what you stole. Give it up, 'cause now I'm back.
While the beat is very strong and the vocals are well done, courtesy of anime dubbing regular David Rolfe, it definitely feels more like a song that's meant to be tied to a specific character. I may not remember everything from this franchise, but this and You're Not Me from the theatrical movie are the most fitting songs for a character like Kaiba. Full of himself, wanting to prove that he's the best, never taking no for an answer. I guess your interest in the song will depend on if you like the character or not. After one of the many instrumental tracks regularly used for the show with Summon the Dragon, we move on to track 5, Your Move. This is another song that was featured in the show. It also works as an extended version of the theme song, and they used it in the 4th and 5th episode of the series. The instrumentation was done by the series composer and sung by James Chatton, who would also go on to do a song for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Movie soundtrack. Like the shorter version of the theme song, this does a good job highlighting the themes of the show. Fighting to be the best, ancient and Egyptian spirits, dueling card games, the power of friendship.
Secrets are revived, ancient powers have survived. Wrong from right's not black and white. Friends will help to win the fight. Solve the puzzle's mystery, unlock a hero's destiny. Now alter egos, no one knows. Side by side they fight their foes.
And my personal favorite thing here, highlighting the main character Yugi himself, mentioning that he flips between being a young boy and an ancient pharaoh in just one body.
Time to duel these dual identities. They struggle for control. Two personalities inhabiting one soul.
Not bad for an extended version of the theme song. It does its job well, and it highlights a lot of the key themes and things from the show. Also, the chorus is pretty awesome, referring to Yugi as the King of Games, which they actually found a way to make that sound pretty badass. So after a song that has one verse about Yugi having split personality, we then get an entire song about Yugi having split personality with the next track, Duel Madness. Music and vocals courtesy of Pokemon music composer Julian Schwartz, this song leans more into a techno-rock instrumental, despite the lyrics going into Yugi's split personalities.
That's the key, I'm a split personality. Dual sensation, that's my destiny.
Control the power, or will the power control you?
Apparently, fans of the franchise consider this another Kaiba anthem, mainly because they would often use this whenever he was on screen. I mean, he does start the song off, and there are plenty of lyrics that highlight key traits relating to Kaiba.
Virtual systems ready.
Summon the dragon, blue eyes white. Sending the soul to breathing.
Either way, the instrumental of the song is perfectly fine. It does slap hard when it gets into the solos, where they lean more into the rock, but techno beat work is also pretty fine for what it is. Though, can anyone tell me what the hell a Ziga Pow is? They repeat it all over the place at the end of the song, along with the chorus. Seriously, what the hell is a Zigapow? Is that like a Chinese knockoff of a Pokemon or something? Anyway, on to track 7, halfway through the album, and we get another song based on an actual episode. The 2-part episode, Best of Friends, Best of Duelists. A song about two friends having to duel each other, and even though the two will always be friends and very close with one another, the two have to play an honest and fair game. Appropriate since the plot of the episode had Yugi going up against Atem, two harborers of one mortal body having to play against each other.
No matter what, let the game begin. No matter what, we're the best man way. No matter what, we're in this together. No matter what, we'll be friends forever. No matter what.
While I do like the beat and the vocals, which give it a very 2000s rock ballad kind of sound, I also can't help but remember other songs that fell into that genre just a couple years after this album came out. I mean, keep in mind, Rock ballads with gravelly vocals at the time usually applied to stuff like Nickelback, Creed, and more often than not, Pearl Jam wannabes. That being said, the vocals aren't nearly as bad as those kind of acts were when they were in their prime, and the beat does give it more of a personal feel. Most of the songs on this record have a more techno or epic rock orchestral kind of sound to them, but this one's a little bit slower and more of a personal song, about two close peers having to go up against each other but still wanting an honorable, clean, fair game against one another. After another instrumental track used for the monster Exodia, we get track 9, Ahead of the Game. This is another I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh! Master type of song with braggadocious lyrics. Much like Totally Pokemon, the Pokemon soundtrack I reviewed last year, expect some of these songs to have sort of a samey sound to them. I mean, not that the songs are inherently bad or anything, but yeah, with a 14-track listing like this soundtrack has, I expect some of these songs to dip into some very familiar territory, sometimes one after the other. Thankfully though, it's one of the better songs with this kind of theming. It gives me old hair metal kind of vibes, just a little bit more toned down. It doesn't have that 80s cheese to it, but the whole feel of seeing a million faces and rocking them all is definitely here. The beat slaps, and the vocals do give off this Bon Jovi type of ballad, which definitely fits this type of song. Overall, this one is pretty fun.
Everyone, put your hands together, and I'll mark us with a special sign.
What gives, Taya?
It's a symbol of our friendship. So when Yugi's dueling, no matter how tough it gets, he'll know that he's not alone.
Then we get something completely different with the next song, We'll Be There. This is a slow guitar pop ballad meant to highlight the friendship between the main characters in the show. It's somber, it's slow, it's something different compared to what we've heard all throughout this soundtrack. It's a little schmaltzy, but I welcome it as something different. Besides, every album, especially at the time, had to have at least one song like this. Hell, Totally Pokemon had a fair share of songs like this. The female vocals are done by anime dubbing regular Lindsay Warner, and the male vocals are done by musical regular Dominic Nolfi. Not only do they sound like the characters they're supposed to be representing, but they certainly carry a tune for a song like this.
We'll be there.
Song we have is actually sung by one of the characters in the show, and they actually got the voice actor to reprise their role. Again, a lot of soundtracks have these kind of songs. Totally Pokemon had one sung by Brock, so now this song in question is sung by the character of Pegasus.
Face up, face down, attack or defend. Face up, face down, this battle's to the end. Face up, face down, stay on guard. Face up, face down, play your strongest card.
Well, the voice actor Darren Dunstan definitely leans into the cartoonishly smug and evil character that he's supposed to be playing. Plus, this sort of 9 Inch Nails type of industrial instrumental works really well for the rich slimeball the character is supposed to be, as the lyrics constantly taunt the listener with Pegasus thinking that he's the best of the best, and even thinking of challenging him is just to lose in and of itself.
What's wrong now? You look so sad. Losing your soul doesn't feel that bad. Those you love have told me so. And soon, my friends, you too will know. Isn't it grand what I've managed to do? By kidnapping those closest to you, I've taken their souls to lay on the line in a winner-take-all duel for all time.
A Along with the Kaiba songs and We'll Be There, this is one I enjoy because it leans more into the characters from the show. And while I probably enjoyed those songs a little bit more, I really like this as a villain song. You can tell the voice actor was having fun getting to do a Pegasus villain song. After that, we get another instrumental track with Millennium Battle. I know I'm not going into a lot of detail with these instrumental tracks because there's not really a whole lot to say. They're well-composed songs, and they are used effectively in the show. I do want to give them credit for at least spacing the instrumental tracks out instead of just dumping them all near the end of the album like some others would. Anyway, track number 13, we get another nu metal rock rap type of song with Heart of the Cards. It's another battle song with raps being done by a guy doing a voice that kinda sounds like a robot, I guess.
Long ago in ancient times, a sacred game was played of both spirit and mind. 7 items told the mystery, puzzle eyes, string rod, scale, and key.
And then we get a, admittedly, pretty badass chorus.
Trust in the heart of the cards. Remember to trust in the heart of the cards.
Time to duel.
The song is relatively short, but I really like this one as a battle anthem. We've had plenty of these all throughout, but I think this is one of my personal favorites. The raps might be a little bit silly, but I think the rhymes are pretty solid, and the chorus definitely makes up for it. With the music being done by the voice actors and musicians, Questar Welsh and Eric Stewart, who provides the vocals. This is definitely one of my personal favorites off of this album. Short, sweet, silly, fun, and pretty badass all the way through. Lastly, we get to the You're Never Too Far From Home track for the album with World of Yu-Gi-Oh!, which also sounds like this soundtrack's version of Yumi and Pokemon, meant to be a big finale piece celebrating the world of the show as they name-drop characters and specific things from the series.
Gimuta, where are you? The Pharaoh's calling me. Solve the puzzle, transformating to the Dual King and teach me. Maximilian Pegasus, don't put that eye on me. I will attack, defend until the end. I can taste sweet victory. Well, don't you understand? It's not the man in the fight, it's the fight in the man. Pegasus, can you read my mind? If you can, tell me what you find. It's time to duel my darling Valentine and tell her that the art of dueling I will redefine.
And honestly, I think I prefer an ending track like this over the ending track from Totally Pokemon. I don't know why, but I just found this one a lot more fun in comparison. It's another Velasquez DJ White Shadow collaboration, and it just has so much fun with the little references to the characters and the monsters from the show. It's a very upbeat sounding song, but it still has that same techno rock feel that we've heard all throughout. It's a very good finale track to go out on. Fitting, since these two guys did the opener with Time to Duel, and then they do the ending track like this. That was Yu-Gi-Oh! Music to Duel By, and yeah, it's definitely made for Yu-Gi-Oh! Fans. And from someone like me who used to keep up with the franchise, yeah, I say it was pretty good. Like with all the other soundtracks I've reviewed over the years, your interest in a product like this is going to depend on if you like or are even familiar with the source material and the franchise as a whole. For the most part, the instrumentals are catchy and well composed. They're definitely a product of their time with the nu metal sounding songs. Every track's lyrics do fit into the characters and themes of the show, and for the expected audience of Yu-Gi-Oh! Fans, I think it makes a pretty solid soundtrack. But like with Totally Pokemon, with a 14-track listing here, some of the songs might be a little too similar, especially if you haven't kept up with the franchise, but it's never too distracting or anything. Out of all the songs, the ones I enjoyed the most were probably Your Move, as a good extended version of the theme song, Duel Madness and Heart of the Cards for their beat production, Ahead of the Game for how much it reminded me of 80s rock ballads, Face Up, Face Down for how over the top it was as a villain song, and lastly, Time to Duel and World of Yu-Gi-Oh! Work incredibly well as beginner and finisher tracks. And I know this is technically part of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Movie soundtrack and not this album, but man, I wish that I had some spare time to talk about the You're Not Me song.
Tell me what you do. How things would be if you were in my shoes. 'Cause you're not me.
Really let that sink in. Kaiba is so rich, not only can he get a jumbo jet that looks like a dragon, but he can also have his own 2000 angsty teen theme song made in his honor. I have no words. Until next time, I'm the Media Wiz, because one art form wasn't enough.